Are you one of the many that have found yourself feeling like hibernating until spring? Well, no, you're not alone because many people are experiencing a lower energy and lower interest during the winter months. And it's because of something called S.A.D, but it's not the kind of sad you might be thinking of. S.A.D stands for Seasonal Affective Disorder, and it's a form of depression that can affect people with even the sunniest of personalities. But before you resign to, months of sweatpants and reruns on TV, listen up. Because on this episode of the LifeDezign's Mental Health Monday series, we're going to dive into the science behind S.A.D. We're going to share some practical tips that'll help boost your mood and possibly even make the winter your season for personal development. So get ready to learn a little bit, to laugh a bit, and to discover how we can embrace the cozy side of winter without having to sacrifice our mental and emotional well-being. So let's get into it. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe now so you can join us on every episode. We truly appreciate it. And be sure to engage in the comments section of your favorite platform for your chance to be invited as a guest on one of our episodes. Hello, you wonderful people. Welcome back to the LifeDezign podcast and to this week's Mental Health Mondays episode. I'm your host, Michael Borland, aka Coach Michael. And today's episode is, as I said, about what's called S.A.D, Seasonal Affective Disorder. And it's something you may be recognizing without knowing what it is, because as daylight gets shorter and temperatures lower, you may have noticed your inner sunshine feeling a little dimmer. And many people experience this. We experience a dip in our mood, in our energy, and even in our interest for doing things during the winter months. And as I said, in the world of mental health, it's known as seasonal affective disorder, or what is typically referred to just by the acronym S.A.D. But again, before you start thinking that it's just some sort of, winter blues that's taking over, let's dive in a little bit deeper into what it actually is and how we can reclaim that sparkle that we have the rest of the year. So imagine this. You wake up feeling sluggish, unmotivated, maybe even a little bit down. The days, they seem shorter and darker, and even thoughts of leaving that cozy bed in the morning, it's enough to make you just crawl back under the covers and hide. Right? I mean, is this something that sounds familiar? Because for a lot of people that I'm talking to these days, it is. Every winter, it's something that seems familiar to a lot of people. And these are common signs of seasonal affective disorder, or S.A.D. Through the rest of the podcast, we'll just call it S.A.D. And while you might feel like hiding in the dark, trust me, there are simple ways that we can reignite that inner light. We just need to know what those tools are, and we need to actually use them. So first, let's understand the science behind S.A.D, because it really is all about light, or rather, the lack of light. As the amount of daylight that we get each day shortens, our exposure to the natural light also is reduced, which disrupts our internal clock. And this shift, it actually affects our hormones like melatonin, which regulates our sleep and our moods. And it's not just anecdotal, there's strong science behind it. Matter of fact, there was a study in 2022 that was published in the Journal of Affective Disorders, and it found a strong correlation between decreases in sunlight, or sunlight exposure, I should say, and changes in our hormones. And these changes resulted in an increase of the symptoms of S.A.D, or simply put, a lack of not just sunlight, but light, it has a tremendous negative effect on us mentally, emotionally, and physically. Now, that said, there is good news. We can actually outsmart the symptoms of S.A.D, of S.A.D, with some very practical strategies. So let's look at a few simple methods that we can use to combat these effects, to actually overcome them and regain a little bit of that spark, that sunshine in us. So the first one that I want to share is what's called light therapy. And I'm not talking about some crazy lab experiment. It's simply exposing ourselves to bright light, whether that's natural light or artificial, light bulbs. Okay, think of it as early morning walks, right? Something that we might do during the summer, but maybe in the winter we don't do as much of. But spending time outdoors whenever possible, it gets us the light that we need, even on cloudy days. Dr. Michael Terman is a leading researcher in this field, and he suggests that about 30 minutes a day, or I should say a minimum, his suggestion is a minimum of 30 minutes a day of bright light exposure, okay, is optimal. And the earlier, the better. So what if you live in an area where, it's freezing temperatures so it makes it a little more difficult to get outside in the winter? Well, in worst case scenario, if your health or your environment makes getting outside in the mornings an actual health concern for you, then there is the option of investing into a light therapy lamp. And there's many options that are available. Okay, there's what they call light boxes, okay, or light therapy boxes that exist, that are fairly common if you search them out online. Okay, there's a full spectrum of them actually, and some of them, some of the different types of boxes actual mimic natural light. Another popular one is what's called a blue light box, which offers what some researchers consider a more targeted approach to light therapy. Matter of fact, there was a research published in the Journal of Psychiatric, it's called the Journal of Psychiatric Research, that was back in 2020, that suggested that either of these options are effective. But if this is something that you need to do because you can't get out into natural light, then obviously you might want to consult your doctor and, get some personalized advice on that based on your health and your lifestyle. And then choose which type of light therapy you may do based on your preferences and your doctor's advice. So another option, which I don't think will surprise you, is exercise. Okay. Exercise, we all know, is a powerful weapon against lower level energy levels, lower focus, things like that. Well, it's a powerful weapon against S.A.D as well. Both types of S.A.D. Okay, even moderate, physical activity, whether it be a brisk walk in the morning, some sort of workout, or even a dance party in your living room. Right? These things can boost our moods and they can increase our energy levels. So just remember this. Movement it's an easy way to think of it. Movement is magical when it comes to our health in every way possible. Every way. Obviously, barring certain medical concerns. Okay. But for the average person, movement itself, it's literally magical for, improving our health. As a matter of fact, there is a Dr. Kelly McGonigal wrote a book called The Willpower of Instinct. And she points out that exercise not only impacts us physically, our physical health, but it actually triggers neurotransmitters in us that combat both, stress and anxiety. But they also elevate our mood. And we don't have to just limit ourselves to thinking of simple things like walking, right? We can explore different types of activities that we enjoy. Swimming, yoga, any kind of physical fitness class, Tai Chi, things like that, things that create a different type of resistance for our body, but just something that you enjoy. You want something you enjoy because consistency is key. Okay, again, we want to aim for about 30 minutes a day of moderate to potentially a little above moderate exercise, again, depending upon your health. But we want to do this most days of the week, right? Shoot for 4 or 5, maybe even 6 days of the week where you really get some good activity in. Okay. And the more we do this, the more days of the week, the more mood boosting benefits, we can call them, that we get out of this. Again, I'm always going to say this, I'm not a doctor. This is not medical advice. This is a podcast and a conversation about ways that science has proven to keep us healthy. So if you do have any type of health concerns at all, please consult your doctor to determine whatever exercise options are best for you. So now I want to bring up another option, which happens to be our favorite topic on the LifeDezign podcast. And it's the one that affects every single aspect of your life. What am I referring to? Your mindset, of course. Let me ask you this. Do you catch yourself, especially at wintertime, with thoughts like, winter's the worst, right? I always feel down. I don't have as much energy, things like that. If so, it's time to actually start challenging these negative thoughts, okay? Because we can learn to reframe them. We can reframe our thoughts, our beliefs about winter. Right? We can begin to understand that, or look at it as a time for maybe some cozy introspection, maybe a time to recharge and nurture ourselves, whether that be through hobbies that we've been neglecting. If you're a reader, maybe some books that you've been needing to read and haven't got to, or maybe just some creative projects that we've been putting off. I can tell you right now, just today, about 3 hours ago, I spent some time cutting up some different materials that I had out in the garage on a creative project that I've wanted to do for a few months now. And I actually had all the materials put together a few weeks ago, and I took that time today to do that. Is it a cold day? It's pretty cool. It's a little, it's not raining, but there's a lot of moisture in the air. There's not a lot of sunshine out today, but I still took that time to be outside and getting a little bit of work done. Took some physical work to get it done. So these are things that, again, it doesn't have to be just, some type of grueling exercise, just some physical activity. So, you've heard this from me many times, and you'll know this if you're familiar with Marie Forleo. She shares this message all the time as well. And that is that every ending is an opportunity for a new beginning. And that includes the end of a season or the end of a year. So when we look at winter, or when we look at the end of summer, when we look at wintertime or the end of the year the new year, that time of year, whether you look at it as winter or just the new year, truly can become a season of personal growth for you. If you choose to reframe any negative thoughts that you have about this time of year. Okay, as I shared last week, things like NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, or CBT, from therapy, cognitive behavioral therapy. Both of these offer techniques for challenging negative thoughts and for reframing situations that maybe we don't, currently maintain the best perspective on. Okay, by identifying um, what I'll call distorted thinking patterns and replacing those with more realistic, with more positive ways of thinking about it, you can significantly improve your mood as well as your overall health. So maybe consider reading a couple of books to better familiarize yourself with either NLP or CBT, or just simply the concept of reframing your thoughts. So what books can I recommend to you? Well, maybe my book, Improve Your Thoughts, Improve Your Life, which you can see right over there on the frame behind me, on the wall behind me. Okay. It's a fantastic book for reframing. The whole book is about reframing. It's on Amazon now. I've got another book coming out next month in March of 2024 called Rewire Your Mind. Both are very short books, but they're excellent books that were specifically, or should I say that were written specifically to help you reframe your mind and the way you think about things, so that your thoughts work for you rather than against you. So if you are struggling with any form, I want to say this clearly, if you are struggling with any form of depression at a level that is truly affecting your daily activity, okay, or anything at a level that causes you to think of harming yourself or others, please reach out for professional help, and don't wait. I don't care if it's a therapist. I don't care if you reach out to me through the podcast or any of my social platforms. Myself and some of my contacts will definitely do everything we can to help you. Again, I do not offer medical advice. This is a podcast, but I care about people that listen. And if you're struggling in a way that's affecting your life or the lives of people you care about, please reach out to someone, even your doctor, what have you. So, look, the symptoms of S.A.D, of seasonal affective disorder, they can make us feel isolated. So this is one area where people struggle with it. Okay, it's a type of depression, but it's based on that lack of light. Okay, so if you're feeling that way, if you're feeling isolated, okay, reaching out to loved ones, to friends, family, joining a support group, or even even connecting online. Obviously it's preferable to do it in person, but connecting online can make a world of difference. And any of the above, and just try to remember you're not alone in this, and you shouldn't try to get through it alone. Matter of fact, I remember recently reading something from, who was that, Archbishop Desmond Tutu, right? He shared, a person is a person through other persons. Okay, that's the terminology, or what he meant, through other people. But what did he actually truly mean by that statement? Well, it's simple. We are created to be social creatures. Okay? We're created to experience our lives through the interactions we have with other people. And connection and feeling, or the feeling of belonging, these things are vital for our mental and emotional well-being. And you can start improving those things in your life, as I said, by reconnecting with friends, with family, even if it's just for a coffee chat, even a virtual coffee chat. You're sitting on a phone, a video conference, FaceTime or Zoom or something, having a cup of coffee or a tea or whatever you drink, and just chatting for a few minutes. Okay, maybe consider joining a local support group. You might even find one that's specifically focused on people dealing with S.A.D, or with any kind of mental health in general. It doesn't even have to be a full-blown therapy session. Could just be a group of people who come together to talk through, their challenges. So there are tons of online communities that offer, valuable support and connections. Try to make sure it's a healthy one, that it's a healthy group of people sharing, sharing the challenges, but focusing on the solutions. Remember, sharing your experiences and your feelings with others, it's incredibly helpful. It may feel uncomfortable for a while. You may say, "Oh, I hate that. I don't want to deal with that. I'm not going to open myself up to strangers." Get over that. That is, many people use that as a um, self-protection mechanism. That's a lie you're telling. I say you're telling yourself. You were taught, or maybe you learned that it worked in some negative situation in your past. But in a case like this, it's time to get over that. It really is. So take that into strong consideration. So what else is there beyond light therapy, beyond exercise, beyond mindset? Well, incorporating different types of self-care practices into your daily routine. Again, consistency. These things impact our well-being. I don't care if it's relaxation techniques, be it breathing, be it meditation. You guys hear me talk about these all the time because they work. They help us manage stress. They help us reduce anxiety. They promote better sleep and just overall better mood and better well-being. You might even consider guided meditation, if you're new to it. Again, it's available through different types of apps on your phone or online. If that's something you need to help get started, great. Something else you hear me talk about once in a while, but it's nutritional adjustments. These are another option we can use for mood support, not just for physical health, but for our actual mood support. Okay? While research on this type of a topic and the direct links between diet and the symptoms of SAD, it may still be ongoing, but plenty of the evidence does suggest that including your typical nutrient-rich foods, right, can actually support not just our health and our energy, but our moods. And particularly during the winter months or low light situations. And the research suggests that, of course, consuming more fruits, more vegetables, some say whole grains, that's arguable in some circles, but lean proteins, right? Of course, if you're doing lean proteins, you also want to make sure you're doing a healthy diet. You want to make sure you include healthy fats like the omega-3s, in fish or in nuts. Remember, these are the things that are great for our health. But the more we focus on improving our health in those ways, it affects our moods. And hydration, that's another thing. I almost forgot that. Staying hydrated is crucial. Okay. Always try to get plenty of water throughout the day. I get it if you're, one of those people that says, I can't stand just drinking water. I drink sodas, I drink teas, I drink coffee. Try to force yourself to get an extra couple glasses of just water. If you like soda, go for some of the flavored bubbly waters. Something that's going to get just water without the sugars, without the dyes, without the other stuff into you. Okay? It's good for you. You know it. Take advantage of it. If you can, you could always talk to a registered dietitian. They can give you some personalized advice that might help you in a ton of ways. Maybe that's an option for you. Maybe it's not, but it's an option that's out there. And the reality is, regardless of where you live and what the weather might be like, the winter months, the colder months, not even really the colder. Again, we're talking light. The part of the year for you that has less daylight, okay, it doesn't have to be devoid of energy, of fun and joy and feeling good. You can create personal, whatever you want to call them, rituals, traditions, habits, hobbies that are associated with that season. It could be anything that makes it more enjoyable for you. Okay, maybe it's a cozy night with a cup of hot cocoa and a good book or a good show. Maybe you like winter sports, snow skiing, snowboarding, ice skating, hockey, whatever it may be. I know there's a bunch of other ones out there. Maybe it's participating in something that's festive based on the season. Going out caroling near, Christmas time or what have you, attending some sort of holiday markets that they do in, during that time of year, during different holidays. Okay, that can be things that you do at any time of year, but I'm talking specifically during the winter when there's less light, that just creates a little more energy and puts you in a better mood, even if it takes a little bit to get going to do it. Because we all know this, engaging in activities that you find fun and meaningful. These things boost our energy, they boost our mood, they improve our creativity, and they create opportunities that maybe you hadn't thought of otherwise. If you go to some winter market that you have in downtown area or something like that, you may stumble across other opportunities you hadn't even thought of or realized were going on in your town. So I want to throw in a bonus too, something else I thought of earlier. Well, for one, remembering that millions of people experience these symptoms of seasonal affective disorder. So as I said, you're not alone. But I said a moment ago, sharing your experience with other people, friends, loved ones, some kind of community online, even where potentially millions of people could actually come in and provide valuable support for you. People that would understand what you're going through. Maybe a lot of the people you spend time with don't, but a lot of people out there do. So don't hesitate to speak up, to seek professional help if you need to come online to a podcast or video series or social medias with the people and the groups like myself that are trying to share these messages, that are trying to offer ways to help, and that are encouraging you to engage with positive, growth-minded people that are looking for these solutions and sharing them. Of course, therapists can provide, personalized guidance, and they can provide, offer treatment options that are tailored specific to your need. But just getting involved with a group of people who are talking about it and looking for solutions and sharing solutions, that's always available to you. And the reality is, look, while winter might bring challenges to many people, and I'm not talking just, winter storm type challenges, but just the mental, emotional, and physical shifts that happen based on the fact that there is less sunlight. And science proves that light in general, but sunlight in particular, is extremely beneficial for us in a variety of ways. Okay, remember that you do have the power to navigate these challenges and to actually come out stronger if you learn to incorporate strategies like these into your life and learn to cultivate more resilience. Resilience where you're overcoming your mood swings, where you learn to overcome this times of low energy. Okay, you can learn to maintain a positive outlook regardless. You can reclaim that inner spark, as we called it earlier, right? Even during the darkest of days. And I mean, physically dark days as well as emotionally dark days. You can learn to do these things. It does require some time and attention. So do yourself and do others a favor. Share your thoughts and your experiences in the comments. If you're listening on a platform that you can share on, share. If you don't, go to one of the other platforms. Again, YouTube, Spotify, of course, Apple, iHeart, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, X. A lot of my messages are on all of these platforms. Whether it be shorts or full-length videos, those are typically on the YouTube and the podcast style. But I have posts out there. You can just look for My Life Design. Design spelt with a Z, not an S. My Life Design. The website, My Life Design. The podcast is just Life Design. Right? Not the word just. Podcast is Life Design. Everything else is under the term My Life Design. So please reach out and connect. That's what I'm here for. That's what the team that works with me is here for, is to help deliver value to you, offer and deliver value to you. So take advantage of it. I look forward to seeing you again on Wednesdays. On Wednesday, you'll have another opportunity to learn some reframing. That'll be a good episode. So take a listen. And then we'll see you again here on Mental Health Mondays again next week. So until then, live awesome and enjoy your journey.